Hey folks, Jim McCallum here. We have a great show for you. We'll begin with TJ Spivey, Coach Spivey with the South Brunswick Island Rotary Club. He's going to tell us about the Three Bridge bike ride sponsored by the South Brunswick Island Rotary Club. It's a great story. And we'll follow up with an interview at Samara's Village, which is a nonprofit dedicated to assisting in teen pregnancies and young women. So stay with us as we explore more of our hometown. It's a beautiful day here at Ocean Isle Beach, and it's a great day for me to interview our guest, TJ Spivey. TJ, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm going to call you Coach because that's what you are and what you've been.
That's fine. I appreciate it.
We're here to talk about the South Brunswick Island Rotary Club and the Three Bridge bike tour, that's coming up real soon.
Yes, sir.
Let's start first, and we'll say this several times, the time and place.
So November 6th.
Right.
And a lot of times the address is the Planetarium in Sunset Beach, but it's a little bit closer to the Food Line and Mexican restaurant. But that's the start line. Really big parking area there near the Papa John's, Mexican restaurant, Food Line, that area.
And you start and finish there?
Yes, sir. So we start and finish at the same place, and that's really helpful because we have 3 rides. So when we started this event, we wanted it to be open to everyone.
Right.
And we still haven't quite got to where my vision is, but I envision like the most hardcore cyclists ever, all the way down to the little kid who just got their first bicycle. There's a ride for everyone.
Well, let's start about those phases because I know a little bit and you know a whole lot more.
So we have
first off, you have a family-friendly short run.
Yep, and we call that the One Bridge ride. So we start at the start line and we go over Sunset Beach. Once you go over Sunset Beach, really nice laid back, you can ride the entire island and then go back over the bridge and finish and loop around and finish back up to the start line. We've designed that route where will be little to no traffic, so it's very safe.
Less than an hour maybe?
Yes, even on the slowest bicycle ever, probably 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So no rush, it's really laid back. And then we have an alternate route, like if going over the bridge was a little bit too scary, when you get to the roundabout where everybody's going over the bridge, you can just go to the roundabout and loop back. So it'll be a little bit shorter ride, but not as scary as going over the bridge. We really just want to promote people being outside and promote how beautiful this area is and riding bicycles. And I think in the world we live in today with technology and iPads and all that, the more we can get kids outside playing, the better. So that's kind of the goal of the One Bridge ride. And not only that, but just even if you are a hardcore rider, but you rather ride it with your son or daughter or grandkids or whoever.
And you're a pretty serious cyclist yourself, right?
I guess you could say that. I do it mostly for my mental health and my physical health. I mean, I wish I'd got into this a lot younger and could have done more of the competitive racing and stuff. But now it's just really good because when I'm on my bike, my cell phone doesn't ring. I don't have to check my email. And I get a lot of thinking done. And then also it's better for your body than running.
Good for all these reasons.
I used to be a big runner, but over years, ankle issues and knee issues. So it's just a lot better on the body to jump on the bicycle.
I'm a runner myself, and I agree. All in all, biking is preferable. But let's go to the next phase.
So the next one is for people who just got into cycling or maybe have done cycling, but work gets busy, life gets busy, they're not able to train as much. But the old saying, it's like riding a bicycle is one of the most true things ever.
Yeah.
If you've ridden bicycles before and done cycling, you can do this second part. It's 33 miles this year. Okay. We actually made it about a mile longer, but it's going over both bridges. So same thing, you start at Sunset, you do the exact same route as the One Bridge. So you come back over Sunset and you head down 179 to Ocean Isle.
Now does your crowd spread out or do you run in a pack?
We stagger the start time. Okay. So the big ride, the Three Bridge ride, will always go first, at 9:05, and then we have about a 10-minute break, and we let the 2-bridge ride go, and that just kind of helps us at the rest stops, so we don't have so many people there at one time. And then 10 minutes later, we'll do the family fun ride, because they're gonna finish first, and they're also gonna be the slowest, so they don't have to worry about anybody passing them and stuff like that. So when we were heading down 179, we get to Ocean Isle. We had to switch up the rest stops this year. So our first rest stop is gonna be First Bank at Ocean Isle Beach.
Sure.
And then once you get a little rest there and quick drink and maybe a Gatorade or a cookie or something, then you're gonna go over the bridge to Ocean Isle, and we're gonna go down and take a left and ride the east end of the island.
Sure.
Go all the way to the end. And I like going all the way to the end because you can see when we're about to make that left turn, you can actually see the ocean. And that's another part of this ride, is just to showcase how beautiful this area is and how unique it is to ride 3 different islands in one bike event.
Oh, it's terrific.
You know, Ocean Isle Beach and Sunset and Holden are some of the best kept secrets in North Carolina. And we're trying to get that secret out.
Absolutely.
So we ride Ocean Isle, come back, go back over the bridge and head down towards Brick Landing. And this year we've actually added an extra turn to ride by Old Brick Landing golf course.
Sure.
And then we'll go to the end of that road and hang a left, and then come back up 179. And when we get to the roundabout at Old Georgetown, head back to Sunset Beach and finish the ride there. So
And
that's
then,
the second
and then
one.
finally you have what I'll call Group 3, which is all 3 bridges.
So all 3 is pretty much the same route I just said,
And
except
you get the more experienced bikers.
and
of
we have
course?
the most riders in the 3 bridge.
Oh, okay.
So last
All
year
right.
we had over 200 riders, and I'd say 170 of them did the big ride.
Terrific. Great.
So hopefully we can keep growing this middle ride and the small ride just to get more people included. But people who are kind of willing to travel from out of town are more willing to ride the big route than the little one. But when you get to that roundabout at Old Georgetown, instead of going left, we stay straight and go through downtown Charlotte, hang a right there at Walgreens, and head towards Holden Beach.
How many miles altogether?
So that one this year will be 64 miles.
Great.
And we call that a metric century. Metric
Sure.
century is usually about 62 and a half.
Yeah.
Just because of the way the route is, I can't quite make it 62 and a half, so we're gonna do 64. Pretty cool story. Last year, I reached out to some friends in Myrtle Beach and just asked them to come do our event, and they're like some really hardcore riders.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we had planned to do 100 miles that day. So what they actually did, they rode their bikes from Myrtle Beach to Sunset
Great.
Beach, met us at the start line, did the entire ride, didn't stop at any of our rest stops, finished, told us thank you, and rode their bikes all the way back to Myrtle Beach.
That's fantastic.
That was pretty cool.
That is really great. You're one of the numerous members of the South Brunswick Isle Rotary Club. All of those are going to be involved, almost all of them. I mean,
So
this doesn't happen quite by accident.
A few
It's
years
lot
ago,
of planning.
we had a small bike club that I was a part of. Kind of had this idea like most people do.
It was your idea, right?
Most people have ideas, but they never really go any farther than that. They're just ideas, and they talk about it, and they never put it into
Yeah,
action.
but it was your idea, right?
Well, I was one of the guys.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess.
you're modest.
Yep.
Go
But
ahead.
it was definitely our club's
All right.
idea, and we just thought it would be a really good ride. And then we started talking about, we'd like to do something, but we'd like to find a club that we could give the money to, that would put it to good use. And the Boys and Girls Club was one of the first ones that was kind of brought up. And I said, well, if you're going to do an event like this, you need to have as much manpower as possible. And there's not a better club in our area than the Rotary Club.
Absolutely.
And one of the organizations we support is the Boys and Girls Home. So it was kind of like a double whammy, a double win. And I said we can't do this without a lot of support. And that's why the Rotary Club is so perfect. We took them our idea, but the club has the manpower to make it a reality. And without that manpower, this would never be possible.
Now you also have other volunteers. You have the police community. You have a lot of help in putting this on.
And that was one of our goals, is to bring the community together.
Sure.
And what we did last year, especially with the pandemic and some stuff that was going on in the media, we wanted to showcase our first responders. We do a ton for our first responders.
Absolutely.
But we also wanted to showcase them on our ride. So to start our ride off, we had state troopers Pretty much every fire station we went by, they would drape an American flag. And then some of the best compliments we got from the ride was when Civitytown draped the American flag. And when you're coming back, you're probably at about mile 51 when you go by Civitytown, and you're tired. And seeing that American flag drape like really kind of boosted the morale and the energy and got the adrenaline pumping. And that was probably the biggest compliment we got at the end of the ride was they really appreciated what Civitytown did for us. So we had law enforcement involved, fire department involved. Boy Scouts have been a really big part of this from day one.
Yeah,
the first year we did this, we had a Boy Scout troop at every rest stop. And they went above and beyond, and those kids were out there all day, and they had a blast. They loved meeting all the riders and talking, and we've kind of taken some of that off of them now and just gave them one rest stop instead of stretching them so thin. But one of my biggest visions for this ride is to get the community more involved, and just little things like, I'm hoping by year 4, 5, 6, people realize when we're doing the event, what the route is, and if you know the route's coming by your house, email us, get up with me somehow. I can kind of tell you exactly what time, and just go sit in the front yard and just wave at them. Grab a cowbell and just cheer for people as they go by, and that would mean a lot. And the weather in November in this area is beautiful, so hopefully we get this kind of weather today. But how awesome would it be to sit out in your front yard with your family and see 200 bicycles come by?
Let's note that it is a fundraiser for the SBI Rotary Club. And I have a little language here that I want to read. It's for local and international Rotary projects, mostly focusing on Brunswick County children and literacy. How did I do?
You did awesome. And that's one thing I always stress when I talk about the Rotary Club to people. When I got out of teaching and coaching, still had a passion to help young people. And I went and visited this club for about 7 months before I decided to join. And from day one, I was welcomed by the entire club. Some of the best people in our community are a part of this club, and I knew real quick that I wanted to be a part of something special.
It's a great club.
But what I love the most about our club is we do keep majority of our money local. Obviously, a lot of our money international goes to eradicate polio, and we're really, really close. There's a couple of countries that just won't quite let us in yet, but when they do, we're gonna eradicate it. But more importantly to me, I like knowing where my checks go.
Sure.
And I like knowing where my hard work goes, and I can see it. I've had the pleasure to go to Walkmall Middle School and hand out dictionaries to those little kids, which is one of the most fun things you could ever do. I get to go watch a baseball game at West Brunswick and see that our Rotary Club helped build the new press box. I've been able to sit on committees and interview some of the best kids at West Brunswick and offer them a scholarship through the Rotary Club. And the hardest part of that is we don't ever have enough money because there's so many. We'll go in there wanting to give X number of scholarships, and we always do X plus 3. And what I love about our club is when we go back to our club and say, you know, we had some really good applicants. We need some more money to give these kids scholarships. People just start raising their hands and writing checks because they know it's going to a good cause, and they know that the future of this area and this country is our young people.
Coach, in the moment or two that we have left, let's tell our viewers again of the date and the time.
So Saturday, November 6th, we'll start registering at like 7 a.m. The ride will start at 9 a.m. But also
at the Ingram Planetarium,
Sunset Beach, and we will also set up Friday the day before from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So anybody who's already registered can come get their packets and just get all that stuff out the way, or anyone who's not quite registered yet. We don't like to wait this late, but we will still invite people to show up. And we had that last year. I think we had over 100 people register the day before the event because they knew the weather was going to be so nice.
Coach, thanks for being with us.
Great
story.
Yep, thank you.
So what's very important for us as a local hometown insurance agency is that there is that accountability there. I always tell someone, if I make you mad, you'll probably find me at the grocery store or sitting at a restaurant. We can talk then, but I always try to make myself available and be responsive to my clients' needs. It took me a long time to realize that I was more than just a paper pusher or an insurance policy quoting machine. This is a relationship business, and a lot of people, when they buy insurance, is because they worked hard for this asset. Maybe it's their home or their auto, and they want to protect it. They want to make sure they have the right coverage for it. So it does give me a lot of satisfaction to know that I'm helping others and giving them that peace of mind. And hopefully they don't have to file a claim, but if they do, I'm going to be their best friend and right beside them to make sure that they're treated fairly and quickly and getting the payout they deserve from the insurance company.
For us, it's just about knowing that folks have somebody that they can reach out to personally, build a relationship with personally, and know that there is somebody that cares. Even when something difficult is happening, you still have that person that you can reach out to. Our niche and our specialty is definitely coastal property insurance. We pride ourselves on being knowledgeable in the arena of flood insurance and knowledgeable in the arena of wind coverage and just preparing our clients for what is unfortunately the inevitable. Living here at the beach, we've seen more than our fair share of hurricanes these past few years.
So we have a saying around here that says, when we shop, you win. And I really think that the reason is, as an independent insurance agency, we represent several different companies. Not one of those companies pays for my retirement. So I don't have a loyalty to one company. And I really can take a client's insurance needs and review it and make sure that I find them the right coverage. And we want to find them a decent price or the most competitive price. I never like to say the lowest price, but I want them to leave the office with their policy, understanding what they have, feeling like they're getting a good value for it, and also having that peace of mind that they're protected if they do need it.
My guest is Debbie Keener. Debbie is the director of Samara's Village here in Boiling Spring Lakes. Did I say it right, Debbie?
You did. You said it correct.
I've been working on it. You and your organization have a wonderful story to tell here in Brunswick County, and it has to do with young moms or moms-to-be from pregnancy to 3 years old. Tell me a little bit more about the overall vision of Samara's Village.
Well, our vision is that we're going to help that mother or mother and father raise a healthy baby. That's our plan. And so we work with the mother to make sure she's having a healthy pregnancy, getting her prenatal care, taking her prenatal vitamins, and then learning through the months of the pregnancy. And then once she's delivered her baby, that a volunteer is visiting with her on a regular basis and getting education about family development, her health, her baby's development,
right.
Baby's care, to the milestones the baby should be reaching, and helping her grow as a woman as well.
More on that in a moment, but we'll jump back to the very beginning.
Okay.
You're a nonprofit, a 501c3. You've been here in Brunswick County for 5 or 6 years. And before we went on the air, you told me a quick story about how the organization began. Tell our viewers about that.
Okay. Well, there were 3 young mothers who were walking in the mornings, and they all went to the same church, and their pastor had put out a plea to be aware of needs in the community. And they noticed when they were walking that quite often they would, see a mother who was a very young mother, teen, and pregnant, and so they decided to research what was available. And there really wasn't anything here to support those mothers.
Right.
And one of the mothers actually had a brother who was a teen father, and that just really pushed them to explore what was available. And so their pastor put them in touch with another woman who had grant writing experience and master's in nonprofit work.
Good.
And so they all got together and founded us. And that was back in 2015, December of 2015, we got our 501c3.
It's a good story. Communication is what we're all about. And so it's your organization's task to identify these young women or somehow connect with them. How do you do that?
Well, we really depend on the community.
Sure.
We expect, we hope anyway, that we'll be contacted through our website. There's a referral tab there, and it can be anybody. They can refer themselves, or it could be a family member. It could be
schools and other organizations get in touch?
Yes, schools do, Children's Protective Services,
Sure.
the Department of Social Services, churches, any resource.
So they make a referral. You also are out in the community through social media?
Yes, because that's where the teens are.
Sure.
So we're in the schools. I do substituting here in Brunswick County, trying to get the word out.
You mentioned to me a pop-up shop. What's a pop-up shop? Our viewers will be interested in knowing.
Well, on November 17th, we're having our third pop-up shop, and it's really an opportunity for mothers in Brunswick County that would have children in our age group, 3 and under, to just come get items that they could use in their homes. So we have diapers, wipes, baby food, lots of clothing, blankets, big items too, like strollers, high chairs, swings, pretty much anything you need to raise a baby.
And we're, as we speak, we're surrounded by all of this, are we not?
We are, because we're in such a generous community. And they bring us donations. Usually Wednesdays 10 to 1 is when we're here for those, but there's so many wonderful people here in Brunswick County, and they really keep us rolling.
So you want to identify these young moms, or moms-to-be, and one of the things you do is to try to provide them with adult mentors within the community. Tell our viewers more about that.
We provide a motherhood mentor for each of the mothers. It's a one-on-one individualized program. The curriculum is based on what she wants to learn about, but we try to educate her on her development as a mother and the child's as well. But we also have a mentor for each of the fathers if he's in the picture and is interested. And we really, once the referral is made, I contact the mother to make sure she's interested, to tell her what we do. And if she's interested, I'll ask her if there's a baby dad in the picture. And if they're in a relationship, if he might be interested in having a mentor as well.
Sure.
So we can help them as a couple work together to raise that baby and make sure the baby's healthy.
But tell us more about the adult mentors and how they stay in touch with the moms-to-be.
Well, they go out and visit them in their homes usually, and that's at least once a month. We ask the mother, we have an intake when we meet the mother, we sit down and just kind of do a meet and greet and get to know you, and we go over some questions about the health and their education, and just get to know each other, and the mentor is there at that time. Yeah. And then we ask, like, how often would you like to get together? Because the first thing they're doing is developing a relationship, just building a friendship, trust, getting to know each other. And the meetings can happen here at the center. They can go for a walk on the beach. We're so fortunate to have that. Right. Or in a park. It depends on the age of the child too, or if the mother's pregnant or not, whatever's comfortable. And sometimes they like to get out from their home and just have another quiet place to meet. And many come here and they just sit around, talk, and they do their free shopping,
Sure.
through here at the center and grab what they need and they plan their next visit.
I'm jumping around on you, but this is your opportunity to make a pitch for volunteers.
Oh,
I know you need
yes.
volunteers.
Absolutely, we sure do. And we have many different teams that we have. We have an administrative team that does so much behind the work, but it's just incredible, the behind the scenes, what they do. And we have a big concert this Saturday, Toes in the, Rockin' for the Future, sorry. And that's going to be held at the St. James Community Center. And those contributions go towards keeping us running as well. But they just ran programs for us. We have the women that you've seen this morning who organize all these donations that come in and keep everything in its place, so to speak. So when the mothers come in, it kind of pops out and they see what's here. We have a fundraising team, a grant writing team, ambassadors that go out and talk to the fraternal organizations here in the community, a community outreach team that goes out to get our name out in the community, to the schools, to the OBGYN offices, pediatrician offices. So we have a lot of very active but needed volunteers.
So our viewers will know, just as we're doing this interview, others are dropping off bags of help me out.
Donations,
Huggies
supplies.
And donations and supplies and diapers and this and that. All day long, as long as you're open, these continue to come in. Additionally, I'm sure you welcome financial contributions.
Absolutely. We sure do. And there's a place to donate on our website as well.
Okay, that's good to know. Your website refers to 3 E's. I want to touch on each of them very briefly. to educate, to empower, and to equip. Let's talk about those. Talk about education first.
Okay. Our education for the mothers, the program that we use is a curriculum called Partners for a Healthy Baby. And it begins when she's pregnant and goes the whole way through her pregnancy to age 3 of the child. And it's basically broken down by months, which is great. Because we thought when we first started that we'd be meeting monthly until we began asking the mothers, and then some of them wanted bi-weekly. They'd have us there every day, some of them. But it's an extensive curriculum, and the mothers sometimes we ask, what would you like to know more about? Sure. Could be breastfeeding, it could be discipline, could be potty training. You know, they have their own things that they're struggling with right now.
Now that's the micro, but there's also the macro. You talk about the future for these moms and their kids.
Exactly.
And broader educational endeavors.
Yes, yes. A lot of times our mothers haven't completed high school, or some of the baby dads, they feel the need to go out and raise money to support the family. But we also try to listen to what their goals are and what they might want to be interested in later on, and help them, support them to get that education so they can follow those dreams. And we have many who've done that.
The next E is equip, and I know there's some overlap, but let's talk about that.
Well, this is our equipment. All
Sure.
these rooms and all these things that are filled with so many items that have been donated. And you know, sometimes it's furniture. We had a mother ask for us a table, and we have people that will let us know that they have furniture.
Sure.
And that's something that's coming up here in the near future. We're going to have a little bit more to say about furniture
Okay.
for the homes. That will be available through us.
You're just giving us a peek sneak.
I'm just giving you a peek right now.
Okay, that's good. And then, of course, to empower in the broadest sense.
Yes, and we provide connections to community resources, but we ask those mothers and fathers to make the phone calls and make the contacts, and we will do like a role, kind of a role play with them, practice like, what do you think they're going to ask you, or what would you say if they ask you this? Just helping them through an interview, but we ask them to make the phone call and do it so they know they've done it and they feel empowered by
Sure.
doing that. They're taking care of it.
Sure. You mentioned dads, but let's not forget them. Let's talk about them for just a second.
Okay. We also have some gentlemen in our program that are volunteers, and they mentor the fathers. And they meet, again, as often as the young dad would say he would like to be together. And they use a curriculum called 24/7 Dad, and it talks about baby's development, baby's care, and also some topics that men like to discuss, which is different
Sure.
than females. And again, they're with the father the whole way through the program too, till the baby turns 3.
What's your biggest challenge? What do you need the most?
Well, I would say for our families, the biggest challenge is housing. Many of our families, once that baby's there, it's another body in the home, and they want to be independent and move out. And we're limited so much right now with where they can go and what they can afford.
I didn't expect that answer, but I completely see that that's obviously one of the giant challenges.
One of my dreams would be to have a facility that's wings, where there's a mother's wing, a father's wing, and a family wing with a courtyard where the babies
Sure.
could play in between.
Sure.
I really hope we can see that sometime in the future.
Debbie, thanks so much for being with us. In the few moments that we have, let's see if we can wrap this up. First off, donations of diapers and other items that young mothers really need. Talk about that for just a second. That's a continuing need every day.
Yes, yes. So the best time to drop off donations are Wednesdays between 10 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or they can call at the center here, and they can find the number on our website and make an arrangement for somebody to meet them here, and they can drop things off as well.
You have a good website. Let's provide
We
that
do.
to our viewers.
We do. It's samarasvillage.org.
And you're located on 133, just on the outskirts of Boiling Spring Lakes.
Yes, we're on the corner of 133 and 50 Lakes Drive, right next to the old Brunswick store.
All right. I get the pleasure of thanking you again for being with us. Thank you, Debbie King.
Yes, thank you.
Folks, thanks for being with us on Our Hometown. If you have a story that you'd like for us to consider, please be in touch with us at atmctv.com. Thanks again. Please join us again on Our Hometown.